Hi everyone, this is Math 102, Section 8.5 on annuities, stocks, and bonds. And to calculate the value of an annuity, you're going to use the following formula. We're going to use A equals P times the quantity of 1 plus rate divided by n raised to the nt power, then subtract 1. And all of that is going to be divided by R, the rate divided by the number of times compounded. So the problem that we're going to do is you're going to invest $50 at the end of each month for 30 years, and the rate is 6%. So you want to figure out, if compounded monthly, you want to figure out how much you'll have at the end of the 30 years. So we'll use our formula. And P here is the deposit that's made at the end of each compounding period. So for my formula, I'm going to have A equals, and then my P will be my $50 times, and then we'll have 1 plus, my rate is 6%, so 0.06 divided by n, which is compounded monthly, so that'll be 12, raised to the nt power, so it'll be 12 times 30 minus R1, and then it will all be divided by our rate divided by the number of times compounded. So the big thing to watch out when you do this is you want to make sure that your calculations are correct and that you don't try to type it all into the calculator at once, because it makes it very hard to do. We do need to simplify the top and the bottom, and then do a single division at the end. So because it's a little bit easier, I'm going to take my 600ths and divide it by 12. And again, you don't want to round anything till the very end. So I did the bottom part. I just rounded that. And that'll actually help me out on the top, because remember, order of operations, we got to do these parentheses first. So we're going to do 1 plus 600ths divided by 12, which will give me 1.005. And then we need to raise that to the 12 times 30th power, and 12 times 30 is going to be 360. So we'll take 1.005 and raise it to the 360th power, which will give me this right now. And again, I'm not going to round until the very end. So I'm going to have 6.00, or no, excuse me, it's 0. Let me fix that real quick. It is, so 50 times 6.0225 75212 minus 1. So when I subtract my 1, I end up with 50 times 5.0225 75212, and that's all divided by 5 thousandths. So when I take my top number and times it by 50, I end up with 251.128 7606 on the top, divided by 0.005. And when I do the division, and again, you never want to round until the end, I end up with 50,225.76 75212. But because we're talking money, it's going to be $50,225.75. Because again, you'll round to the hundredths for your money. So at the end of the 30 years, if I invest $50 every month for the next 30 years, I will have $50,225.75. All right, so here we are investing $1,000 at the end of every 3 months for 6 years, and my interest rate is 6.25% compounded quarterly. So we want to find the value of the annuity and round to the nearest dollar, and then we want to find the interest. So we're going to use the same formula as before. So I'm going to say A is equal to, and my principal this time is $1,000 because that's what I'm investing each time, times, and then we'll put our 1 plus, and remember it's your rate, so 0.0625 divided by the number of times compounded, which is every 3 months. So there are 4 groups of 3 in 12, so that's quarterly. So it's going to be 4 is our N, raised to 4 times, and it's going to be in the account for 6 years. So 4 times 6. And then after we do that, we have to subtract 1. And then we're going to divide it all by the interest rate. So 0.0625 divided by 4. And again, you want to not put this all into your calculator at once. It makes it a little bit harder. So we're going to start. I'm going to take my 0.0625, divide it by 4, and it will give me, so on the bottom I will have 0.01565, and then I'm going to continue again. On the top, do your parentheses first. So we have 0.0625 divided by 4. We'll add 1 to it. And then our power, it's the 4 times the 6, so it's going to end up being 24. So I'll raise it to the 24th power. And this is what I have right now. I have 1,000 times 1.45078744. And I still have to subtract my 1. So that's going to give me 1,000 times, and I'm going to subtract my 1, it'll be 0.4507787444. And again, it's still divided by my 0.015625. So let's multiply the top by 1,000, and I end up with 450.7787437. And we'll divide it. Okay, so let's do our division. And we end up with $28,849. And then our change, we have 0.83959 for the whole thing, but they want us to round it to the nearest dollar. So because that's 83 cents, it's going to end up being $28,850. And then that's the value of the annuity after 6 years. They want us to also find the interest. So to do that, what we have to do is we first have to calculate, well, how much did we put into our investment? So we deposited $1,000 every 3 months. So that's 4 times a year for the last 6 years. So when we multiply 1,000 times 4 times 6, we end up with $24,000. That's how much we deposited. So that's our deposits. To find the interest, you want to take your $28,850 and subtract what you deposited. So when we do that, we subtract, we end up with interest of $4,850. And that's not bad because it was only in there for 6 years. So now we're using the same formula, but this time I want to find out how much I should deposit so that I can get to a future value amount in the future. So we took the formula and we solved it for P. And this time we want to figure out how much money you should deposit at the end of a year if the interest rate is 6% compounded annually for 18 years, and you want to have $140,000 at the end of this time. So $140,000, that's how much you want to have. That's going to be your future value, or your A. It's compounded annually, so N will be 1. And time is 18, and my interest rate is 6%. So when I plug this into my formula, I'm going to have P equals, I'm going to put 140,000 times my rate, 6%, divided by, in this case, it's going to be 1 because it's compounded annually. And then all of that is going to be divided by 1 plus my 600 divided by 1 raised to, and this time it's going to be 1 times 18 because N is 1. It's compounded annually, minus 1. Okay, so when we do this, we're going to do the top 140,000 times, now it's 6%, it's 600 divided by 1, so it's 600 because anything divided by 1 is itself. So I'll do my 140,000 divided by 600, and I end up with 8,400. Then on the bottom, I'll take 1 and 600, raise it to the 18th power, and subtract 1, and I end up with 1.854339153. And I want to divide, so take my 8,400, divide it by my last answer, and I end up with $4,529, and it's 0.915677. But here we want to round, and again with principal you always want to round up. So I need to deposit every year $4,529.92. So here we're going to use the same formula that we used before, the P equals. We're going to solve and find the principal. My financial goal this time is $250,000. It's going to be in there for 10 years, compounded monthly, so N will be 12 this time, and my interest rate is 7.5%. So we're going to start off, and we're going to say P is equal to $250,000 times my rate, so 0.075 divided by 12. And then on the bottom we will have 1 plus 0.075 divided by 12 This time it's going to be raised to the 12 times, and our time is 10 years, so 12 times 10 power, minus 1. So again, I'll do the top first. I'll take my 0.075, divide it by 12, and then times that by 250,000. So I end up with, on the top, 1,562 and 5/10. And again, never round until the very end. Then on the bottom, 0.075 divided by 12 plus 1. And then I'm going to raise it to the 120th power because that's 12 times 10. And I end up with 2.112064637, and I subtract 1 from that. So we're going to do our final division problem will be 1,562 and 5/10 divided by 1.11264637. And when we do our division, we end up with 1,405. And here, again, remember with principal, you always want to round up. So $1,405.05. But our problem says to round up to the nearest dollar. So we're going to have $1,406. And then the question is, how much comes from deposits and how much from interest? This is what we're going to deposit every month to have $250,000 at the end of the 10 years. So to figure out our financial goal from deposits and interest, what we want to do is take our $1,406, because that's what we're going to deposit every month, times that by 12 and then by 10, the 12 being once every month for a year, and then for 10 years. And that, when you multiply, you get 168,720. So this is your deposits. This is how much money you put in. And then to find the interest, take your goal, your 250,000, subtract 168,720, subtract your deposits. And when you subtract, you will get 81,280, and this is your interest. Okay, so here we're going to look at a stock table. And what I did is I just went into a financial paper and took out a stock table. I'm going to write the information over here and then we'll answer the questions from it. So they want to know, when you look at a stock table, they will tell you different things. They will give you the 52-week high. And for ours, it was 26.66. We'll get the 52-week low, and that was 15.32. They will give you the stock, and this one happens to be the GameStop Corporation. They'll give you the symbol of the stock, which is typically 3 or 4 letters. The price that it pays out per dividend, which is 25 cents. The percent yield, which is written yield percent, and that is 4.33. Our PE ratio is 9. The volume written in 100s is 15,138,693. And then the high for yesterday was $23.48. The low was $21.05. The close was $23.08. And the net change was $2.08. So this is what the stock table, the information that would be listed. And then we're going to answer the questions over here. So they want to know the high and low prices for a share for the past 52 weeks. That information will actually be found right here. It'll be those two numbers, 66 and 1532. If you owned 500 shares of this stock last year, what dividend will you receive? Your dividend is listed per share. So you get 25 cents per share. So if I have 500 shares, I would take 500 and times it by what I earn per dividend, which will be the 25 cents. And 500 times 25 cents will give me $125. How many shares of this company's stock were traded yesterday? That's going to be your volume in 100s, but because it's in hundreds, to get your answer, you have to multiply this number by 100. So we end up with 1,513,869,300 shares were traded yesterday. And I just got that by taking the volume in 100s and multiplying it by 100. The high and low prices for a share yesterday are going to be right here. It's $23.48 and $21.05. What was the price at which a share of stock traded when it closed yesterday? That's going to be your close value, so $23.08. What was the change in price from a share of stock from the market close 2 days ago to yesterday's market close? That's going to be your net change, so $2.08, and it's positive, so that means it went up $2.08. And then they want the company's annual earnings per share. This is what they expect to earn per share. So you want to take yesterday's closing price, which for us was $23.08, and divide it by your price to earnings ratio, or your PE ratio, which was 9. And that will give us, when we divide it, we're going to round it, so $2.56. It's 2.56444, but we're going to round it to talk about money.